The weather is gorgeous and the yacht. Set foot on board, point her in the direction they want to go, start the engines and start enjoying the ownership experience very, very quickly. We'll take a look all the way through the yacht in a moment, but first, pretty impressive. Antibes, home to some of the largest yachts in the world and also some of the most beautiful. If you're passionate about yachts and you've never visited, I recommend that you do. Our visit to Antibes was to film Bella Vita, a Benetti Mediterraneo that is a testimony to one of the world's most successful yacht builders and to the designers and craftsmen that put her together. Leaving port early in the morning to capture those amazing sunrise shots, the crew busy cleaning the morning dew off the windows and clearing away the fenders, I felt pretty sure that we would get some spectacular footage. And let me tell you, what followed did not disappoint. And how could it disappoint? We're in the south of France, which is a beautiful location to film in. The weather is gorgeous and the yacht is just beautiful. It is in fact in part due to the beauty of their design that Benetti is consistently at the top of the table of the world's yacht builders. I've been in the industry for 30 years and I've seen their designs go from good to better to stunningly beautiful. We'll take a look all the way through the yacht in a moment, but first, let's take a look at her vital statistics. Bella Vita has a length overall of 35.3 meters, so that's 115 feet and 10 inches. Her beam is 7.5 meters or 24 feet 7 inches, and her draft at full load 2.15 meters, so 7 foot and 1 inch. In a recent video, viewer Lamarb2513 asked me to include the gross tonnage of yachts that we film. Well, I'm happy to oblige Lamarb. She has a gross tonnage of 271. Now, interestingly, her predecessor, the 35-meter Benetti Classic, had a gross tonnage of 247. So you really do get more boat for your buck with this model. You see what I mean about the evolution of the design? Let's start at the transom of the yacht though and take a look all the way through her. A large transom door opens up to reveal a garage large enough for a Williams 505 tender for diving equipment and for sea bobs. Just while we're on the subject of water toys, I should mention that jet skis can be positioned on the bow and the sun deck. Steps to either side lead to a nicely proportioned aft deck. This is the area that you'll usually enter the yacht and be greeted by the crew. But it's also a very functional area, giving the crew plenty of space for tying the yacht up when she gets into her berth. I like the easy access to the winches and the cleats here. Curved sliding doors open up to the main salon, and I have to say that curves are very much a theme of this yacht. I don't know how much of this is a Benetti design or how much was influenced by Giorgio Cassetta, who did the interior design of the vessel, but I have to say that Benetti are not scared of making life difficult for themselves with all of those custom-made curved surfaces.
Forward and to the starboard side is a lobby, again with that wave effect to the panelling. Then there's a dayhead just before the owner's stateroom. Here there is a small study area and a couple of steps up to the stateroom itself.
I often talk about steps going up and down on yachts, and that's because I admire so much designers that can take a form as irregular as a yacht and squeeze as much space as possible out of it. The form of a hull, as you know, is like this, and the higher up you go, the more beam becomes available for you to play with. By adding those two steps there, all of this extra space has been created for what is essentially one of the most important areas on the yacht, whilst underneath where the crew quarters are, they now have more head height, even though a little less beam. You really have to be able to think in 3 dimensions to be a yacht designer, and when you can do it properly, the results are pretty impressive.
Below deck is a fairly standard configuration. After all, why change a winning formula? 4 staterooms, of which 2 are doubles and 2 are twins, one of which has a Pullman bunk too, in case you have that extra guest staying overnight. Each cabin is named with the Italian word for a suit of cards, and notice that even the doors to the cabins are curved. Again, Benetti are not frightened to make the construction process more challenging if it results in an attractive aesthetic for guests to enjoy, and I have to say the guest cabins are very attractive indeed. Completing the interior guest spaces, we come to the Sky Lounge. Now this is beautifully appointed, those large windows that Benetti have mastered in their designs, letting sunlight gush into the yacht. It's a wonderful area that I can imagine the family that own the yacht must thoroughly enjoy using. I was fascinated by the 2 circular cabinets in the corner of this room, one of which is a rather stylish cabinet, and the other houses an air handler for the air conditioning. But the owner had this amazing custom-made sofa made for the yacht that follows the various curves of the cabinetry. Actually, I was talking to the crew about some of the upgrades that the owner made to the vessel, and they also mentioned the amount of fridges and ice makers positioned strategically for easy access. This beautiful bar on the upper aft deck has 4 fridge drawers in it, and that actually leads nicely to the outside guest areas. The upper aft deck is just perfect to my way of thinking. The circular table is great for family dining, even for quite a large family, and the corner seating area still leaves plenty of floor space for guests to move around. At the forward end of the yacht, there's a really gorgeous foredeck with a seating area, sunbathing, and a jacuzzi tub. The interesting thing for me though was again the use of steps to maximise the spaces. By elevating this deck as far forward as possible, Benetti have been able to incorporate the jacuzzi, but then the sudden drop and the steps down keep the anchor gear and the jet ski out of sight from the guests. Again, it's all about the aesthetics. Possibly the most impressive exterior space is the sun deck though. I mentioned earlier that the interior space, the gross tonnage of the yacht, was notably larger than its predecessor, but so is the exterior space. This sun deck feels so much bigger than the previous Benetti Classic model, which by the way didn't benefit from the foredeck sunbathing area either. Again, it's a great example of the evolution of the design. Now what about the crew spaces on board? Well, let's start with the bridge. And here I have to say that practicality has taken precedence over the aesthetic. Black panels are practical for navigating at night. Vertical windscreens reduce glare and reflection during the day. I like the fact that they have added a chart table too. Electronics are great, but many still prefer a good old-fashioned chart. Good to see that Benetti have designed the captain's cabin to be off the bridge. Now, not all yachts of this size manage that. Moving down to the main deck, and we find a compact galley with a surprising amount of storage space, including 2 full-height fridges and a full-height freezer. I have to say that the crew were particularly complimentary about the size and the characteristics of the galley, which also has a butler's pantry with a dumbwaiter right next to it. Now the dumbwaiter, by the way, goes to the Sky Lounge and then onto the sun deck. From the galley, there's easy access to the crew quarters. Here there's a crew mess, 3 more crew cabins, each with its own head, and a small laundry. I should mention that in addition to the 2 washers and dryer that are here, there's another dryer fitted in the garage. And that leaves us with the engine room. For some, the last thing to be looked at on a yacht, but for many, the first. Here we find 2 MAN 1400 horsepower engines that can propel Bella Vita to a top speed of 15 knots and a cruising speed of 14. She has a range of about 3,200 nautical miles at 10 knots.
Interestingly, the owner of Bella Vita didn't just fit more fridges on the yacht, he also installed a Hamann wastewater treatment system. Now, he didn't just do that because of his love of the marine environment, he also did it because if you want to cruise to some of the world's beautiful places, you simply can't do it anymore unless you have one of those installed. The owning family wanted to cruise extensively with this yacht, and that's exactly what they have done. They also built the yacht to commercial compliance. Now that means that if the next owner wants to register her commercially and put her on the charter market, it's a relatively easy thing to do. I have to say that I do enjoy filming these yachts that have been used and cruised and enjoyed and looked after as well as Bella Vita has been looked after. It means that the next owner can just set foot on board, point her in the direction they want to go, start the engines and start enjoying the ownership experience very, very quickly. If if you think you could be the next owner, if you are a qualified buyer, do reach out and contact my colleagues who represent the Yacht for Sale. And if you're not a qualified buyer, then I do hope that this video has given you an insight into the joys of owning a yacht like Bella Vita.